In Muay village in East Kalimantan, we met Ibu Nur, an oil palm farmer. She told us how her yields had dropped recently and how difficult it was to make a living from this anymore. And this kind of declining yields is because of old oil palms, and it creates a risk of land clearing in the forest land.
So the story of Ibu Nur is very typical for Indonesian farmers, where many struggle with old plantations and declining yields to maintain proper income for their families. So the temptation is typically to expand existing plantations, which increases risks of deforestation. This is also making it more complicated to access premium markets like the EU, where they have like products that are associated with deforestation that are not traceable. So these farmers face many challenges in that regard. On top of that, getting access to finance is increasingly difficult because they don't have the proper land titles and there's no financial institutions in these rural areas that are willing to provide these very long-term loans. So the Climate Smart Fund is trying to help these farmers address these challenges. The Climate Smart Fund is an innovative fund managed by ABLE Nordic designed to combat deforestation in Indonesia. This is to help farmers increase incomes, but also build climate resilient production systems. Our goal is to reduce encroachment in forest areas by making sustainable farming more profitable for smallholders. To do this, we provide long-term capital loans for replanting that allow farmers to intensify production on existing plantations instead of expanding into forests. But replanting loans are not enough. The fund also supports farmers by a comprehensive suite of activities such as trainings on good agricultural practices that improve yields on existing plantations, but also increases their resilience. We support farmers in achieving sustainability standards that will give them access to premium markets. Through village planning that we support farmers with, we can help them with more sustainable land use plans and eventually obtain land titles that make them bankable. Through these interventions, we'll have access to lots of data that can help us identify their locations and eventually develop a fully transparent and traceable supply chain meeting EUDR requirements. All of this is verified on the ground by our teams, and with satellite monitoring, we will make sure that farmers indeed comply with the agreements that we have made and can hold everyone in the landscape accountable.
So this is a blended finance facility, meaning we combine philanthropic capital to mobilize private capital. Norway's Ministry of Climate and Environment, NICFI, has funded the pilot phase with $10 million. And Temasek Foundation has provided a credit guarantee that reduces the credit risk for the investors. We work closely with partners like Cultiva, who provide traceability for the farmers, and Amar Bank, who is our banking partner. We also collaborate with off-takers like Musimas and Realkaltim, ensuring a stable market for the farmers who commit to sustainability. Now we're scaling, and our goal is to reach between 15 and 30,000 smallholders by 2030, supported by a $60 to $100 million fund.
If we want to protect forests, we have to make sustainability viable for the people who depend on the land. That means making sure that climate finance reaches them in a way that's affordable and accessible. We're calling on our partners, investors, and policymakers to get involved, support blended finance models that reduce risk and drive innovation, invest in financial systems that incentivize sustainable practices, and back solutions that work with and not against local communities.